Hey guys, welcome back to 22 Lima Romeo. I'm Jeremy, and today we are out at Northern Colorado Rod and Gun Club to film the March 2025 NRL22 Monthly Course of Fire. Now, as you guys can see, it is a winter wonderland out here again. Now, most parts of the country, it is springtime this time of year, but not for us. We're still in the thick of winter. But that should make finding targets a little bit easier with this blanket of white stuff. Now, as you guys can see, I have a brand new rifle to the channel sitting in front of me. This is a Ruger 1022 with a whole bunch of aftermarket bells and whistles. This thing has the Valkortsen barrel on it. It has the Valkortsen TG2000 trigger group. It is topped with a Burris Optics RT25 5-25 with the SCR2 mil reticle. It has the Victory Company Titan stock that includes the rear tang mount for the action. So I'm hoping that this thing is going to be a hammer and you guys are not going to be grossly disappointed with how it performs during this month's Course of Fire. Now, that being said, I have no idea how this thing is actually going to group. We have never shot this ammunition through it. So I'm going to take you guys along. We're going to make sure this thing is zeroed, print some groups, see how it shoots, and then film this Course of Fire with nothing but a 1022. All right, let's get out there and get this done. I do have the Garmin running, so you guys will be able to see, as I'm seeing, how this thing is actually grouping and how it's performing on the chronograph. So let's pick a spot right here. This whole 1022 thing is going to take some getting used to, I'll tell you what. I am so used to running a bolt gun, this thing feels alien to me. Well, boys and girls, looks like we have an average of 1034.4 with an extreme spread of 41.3 and a standard deviation of 12.8. So, this is pretty cheap ammo. I wouldn't expect it to do much better than that, particularly out of a 1022. So let's go ahead and shoot the Course of Fire and just see what this thing's capable of.
First up for the March Course of Fire, we have Little Leprechaun 2-step. We have a 1.5 and 2.5 on a double hanger at 76 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with 2 shots in the following order and manner. From the 55-gallon barrel, the large target. From the chair seat, the large target. Go prone, the small target. Back to the chair seat, the large target. Then finally back to the 55-gallon barrel, and our final 2 shots will be on the large target. For the barricade setup, we need to have the chair facing to the left, the 55-gallon barrel laying down, pointing downrange. Secure the 55-gallon barrel so it does not roll.
Okay, let's back.
Alright guys, so a common theme on this month's Course of Fire, these stages are going to appear much more difficult on paper than they actually are in practice. This Course of Fire is really not that challenging. The target sequence is never really that difficult, but it just looks a little confusing on paper. Hopefully, this video really helps clarify things so that you can approach your Course of Fire with a lot of confidence and you can crush it while you're at your match.
Back to the chair, 2 shots large. Back to the barrel, 2 shots large. Yes, sir. Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be.
All right. Stand by. Engage.
So as I build into the first position on stage 1, I'm going to use a kneeling position. I'm going to balance this 1022 kind of centered up on that schmedium sitting on top of the barrel. Then we're going to transition to the chair. I'm going to take a seated position, kind of resting my left hip on my foot. Something that's going to take a lot of getting used to during this month's Course of Fire is the constant transition to safe, because I have never shot a match with a 1022. This is my first time actually trying to shoot stages with this rifle. This is a different mental process that I'm not used to doing, and I'm trying to wrap my head around what this means and how to do it safely every time I transition. Now, building into the prone position is the only time we're going to have to shoot small targets on this stage. The targets are pretty small for that range, so making sure that you build into a good, solid prone position using a bipod, I think, is paramount.
Safe. I mean, I lead.
Now we're going to jump back up here to the chair, break the 2 shots to the large target,
Unsafe.
and then the final transition over here to the 55-gallon barrel and break those last 2 shots again at that large target. Like I said at the beginning, these stages really are not that difficult in practice. They're just difficult on paper. That was a good way to start this month's Course of Fire. Let's get into stage 2.
That wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad. I mean, I laid smack in the water though, dude.
Next up, we have stage 2. Spring forward for what? We have a 3-inch on a single hanger at 96 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with 2 shots each from the designated positions on the tire in the following order and manner. From the left side of the tire stack, then from the right side of the tire stack, then from the top of the vertical tire. Then we're going to go back to the left side of the tire stack, again to the right side of the tire stack, and we're going to wrap this one up on the top of the vertical tire again. Note, you should secure the vertical tire so that it does not roll or move. Another note, this is also the bonus point stage, where you earn 0.1 bonus point per second remaining after the required round count has been fired. Getting started into stage 2. This stage is a case of rinse and repeat. We're going to shoot 2 shots from each position 2 times. So we have 3 positions. We're going to fire 2 shots per position, and then we're going to repeat that engagement all over again starting on the left side. So when I build in a position on the horizontal tire, I'm going to take a seated position on my left foot. That allows me to make some contact with the tire. And what I've found over time is that if I can apply a little bit of my body can actually absorb some of the bounce that is experienced on that tire. Something else that I noticed when shooting this 10-22 is that the tire doesn't bounce near as much with the lighter rifle on it. There might be something to having a lighter rifle in this sport. Now, as we build up into position here on the vertical tire, you'll notice that I start with both knees down and my hips elevated off my heels. I quickly realize when trying to build into that position and get stable that was not going to work. And I shimmy my knees up and I actually find a way to anchor my hips to my heels to give me the stability that I'm looking for to break those 2 shots. Now, like I said before, this is rinse and repeat. So we're going to jump right back over here to the left side, break those 2 shots, move to the right side, break those 2 shots, back to the top of the vertical tire. I'm going to repeat the exact same positions as I did before from the lessons that I learned on the first run through.
Safe. Mag change.
I know that on paper, this stage looked like it was going to be a little more challenging than it actually is, but as you can see, all it was rinse and repeat. Let's get into stage 3.
Okay, drop 1.
Next up, we have stage 3. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We have a 1/4 inch on a KYL rack at 41 yards, a 1.5 and 1 on a double hanger at 59 yards, a 2 and 1.5 on a double hanger at 83, and a 2.5 on a double hanger at 98. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with 1 shot each in the following order and manner. From the top of the center blocks, targets 1, then 2, then 3. Transition to the top of the sawhorse, target 2, 3, then 4. Back to the center blocks, target 3, 4, then 5. Then back to the top of the sawhorse, target 4, 5, and 6. Restrictions. A bipod may not touch the ground.
Ready?
Yeah, ready.
Stand by. Engage.
Alright guys, getting started into stage 3. I started to notice some irregularities in the way this 1022 is performing. So I think it's time we make a little change.
I've lost my zero again.
Emotional, damn it!
Looks like it's time to pull out the voodoo.
Yeah, it might be time to pull out the voodoo. Hammered.
So unfortunately, we didn't have enough time left in the day to continue chasing the zero on the 1022. So we felt like the best course of action was to go ahead and bust out the voodoo and finish the stage that way.
Yep.
Ready?
Yeah, ready.
Stand by. Engage.
This particular stage does have a challenging target engagement. The position building also adds another layer of challenge. But I think that this is manageable if you can keep in mind that from position 1, you're going to shoot target 1 first. From position 2, you're going to shoot target 2 first. So on and so forth. If you keep that in your mind, the shooting sequence really boils down to just making sure that you can hit the small target on the bottom. The icing on the difficulty cake for this stage is truly building the position on top of that sawhorse while shooting at such small targets downrange. Those are unforgiving targets for this stage and the instability that you see on that prop. I would recommend using a pump pillow if you find that you're having difficulty getting some stability from the top of that sawhorse. It's manageable, but even with a really accurate rifle, this stage is going to prove to be challenging when shooting at those targets. Now, when engaging from the top of the bricks, you should be rock solid. Using something like the Armageddon Gersh Medium or the Wee Bad Tater Tot should give you the stability that you're looking for when you slap it down on top of those bricks. But all in all, this stage, hands down, was the most difficult of this month's Course of Fire. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Get into stage 4. Hopefully it's got something a little less challenging in store.
That's a hard stage.
Next up, we have stage 4, on the plus side of spring. We have a 1 inch on a single hanger at 51 yards, 2 2-inches on double hangers placed roughly 10 yards apart at 70 yards, and a 3 inch on a single hanger at 95 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets from the pyramid in the following order with 1 shot each. From any left rung, target 2 and 3. From any middle rung, target 1 and 4. From any right rung, target 3 and 2. From a different right rung, target 3 and 2. From any middle rung, target 1 and 4. And finally, any left rung, target 2 and 3. Restrictions. Positions on the pyramid can't be repeated.
Target 2, 3. Not 1, 4.
We'll get into our pyramid stage for this month.
Target 2,
This one
3.
seems like it's going to be relatively difficult because of the shot sequence. But the reality is it's really not that complicated.
Okay. Ready?
Ready.
Stand by. Engage.
As we build into this first position on the left side of the pyramid, we're going to engage the middle targets left, then right. Now you'll notice I'm going to build into a kneeling position on that second rung, and I'm going to stay in that kneeling position throughout this entire stage. Now we transition here to the middle. I'm going to build into the exact same position, except this time we need to shoot the middle target near, then the middle target far. Now right then would have been a good time to adjust parallax, but I felt like that was going to burn a lot of time, so I thought it was smart to just go ahead and shoot that 1 inch target blurry.
Target 3. Target 2.
Now transitioning to the right side of the pyramid, we're going to shoot the right target first, and then swing to the left target and engage that one next. Now, because we cannot repeat positions on the pyramid, we need to change rungs, and I'm going to repeat that target engagement, starting with the right target in the middle, and then moving to the left target in the middle. Now I'm in a bit of a high kneel there. Because I'm so far up that pyramid, I cannot anchor my hips to my heels. However, I don't feel like that really held me back, and I was able to change positions into the middle and break the next 2 shots on the middle targets near and far before swapping mags and then moving over to the left side of the pyramid. Now, again, from the left side of the pyramid, we're going to start on the left target in the middle and then transition to the right target in the middle. This stage on paper looks a heck of a lot more complicated than it actually is in practice. Let's get into stage 5. Wrapping this month up, we have stage 5, dropping the wintertime blues. We have a 1 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1/2 inch on a KYL rack at 55 yards and a 2.5 on a double hanger at 98. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets in the following order and manner with 1 shot each. From the first tip, target 1, 2, 3, then 4. From the second tip, target 1, target 2, target 4, target 4. From the third tip, target 1, target 4, target 4, target 4. Restrictions: tips on the tank trap may not be repeated. Wrapping this month's Course of Fire up, we have our tank trap stage for the month. This one appears to be a lot more complicated than it actually is, and that is kind of a common theme for this month's Course of Fire. It is a little tricky, but mostly it's only tricky on paper.
Stand by. Engage.
The only complicated part is that we have to remember, or you have to write a really detailed dope card on how you need to engage the targets from each tip as you work your way through the stage. Now, building into this first position, we're going to work the entire KYL rack, large to small, and then we're going to take 1 shot at the far target. Now, as we transition to position 2, we're only going to take 2 shots at the KYL, and we're going to take 2 shots at the far target. To position 3, we're going to take 1 shot at the KYL, the large target, and then 3 shots at the large target downrange. Now, right here at the end of this clip, you guys will see that I am a lot less stable than I normally would be when shooting from a tank trap. But I hope this clip shows some valuable insight as to why using your muscle to try to gain stability in a shooting position is never a good idea. My right foot was slipping on ice and I was flexing the inner part of my thigh to try to maintain my position. And that flex, that tension being created inside that muscle really did transmit all the way through my body, and you could really see that quiver of that muscle evident in the reticle as I was trying to hold that position for those last 2 shots on this stage.
I can't get stable.
Bones are great for building positions. Muscles are not. That was a pretty challenging Course of Fire. Definitely a step up in difficulty from the last 2 months, but I certainly had a good time shooting it.